Hello, Meoni here. Welcome back to another video. This then just to announce that patch 7.41 finally has a release date. We were expecting this, honestly, the past couple of weeks. It was kind of up in the air. We didn't have much communication from Square Enix. And it turns out that 7.41, with some longer-awaited content, such as the new moon exploration, as well as the relic weapons for combat roles as well, and a few bits extra to that, will be releasing on the 27th of January, so next Tuesday at the time of recording, so the 27th of January. And there is a new special site update, so I thought we'd look at that. On the special site itself then, you'll see there's green icons indicating new stuff, so under the challenges section. And if we scroll all the way down to the Occult Crescent section, and just below that is the new updated version of the weapon enhancement quest, and there's actually a really cool picture. It says, join Geralt once again as he prepares to imbue your phantom weapon with ever more potent powers. Will renewed enthusiasm see him holding his hammer aloft or reaching for the bottle? So we've already seen this image before, and of course it's anyone's guess as to what the next stage would be. They seem to do a little bit of a nice callback to previous relics in the past. We've had various things such as a light stage. We've had anima collection. What else could there be? A lot of people are speculating maybe they return to books, but I don't think that's necessarily going to happen. We get a preview of at least 5 of the weapons then, of course. So this is what those should look like, or at least one of the new stages, the glowy stage. And they're quite nice, actually, quite different. Sort of warrior weapon. These are all next stages, so presumably there's a non-glowy version that happens first, and then to make them glowy there's another like sub-stage, although we don't know that for certain. Warrior on the left there, which is pretty cool, obviously harnessing that red. Very similar actually in some ways, these slightly to animal weapons. That's what that immediately reminds me of, more than something like a resistance weapon or a Mandevilius weapon. This sort of harks back to anima weapons personally. If they continue down this route, there could be a really good final version of a weapon. So we've got Warrior there, which looks pretty cool. The Reaper Scythe is absolutely gorgeous with the glow there. It looks like there's sort of energy flowing around the actual tip of the blade, sort of bending around that. Presumably that animates in a similar way. And you'll notice that about all of the weapons, there is little like quiffs of power. The Bard is probably the most obvious example of it, sort of the ether sort of flowing around the weapon. Very cool stuff, actually. I think, honestly, being a Pictomancer main for the majority of this expansion has given me a lot of hope for future weapons, and this looks really good. Of course, there's no information of if these will be dyeable or not. Of course, they could do one of two things with that. But yeah, that's what presumably the next stage looks like. We briefly saw the Astrologian weapon before and the Picto weapon. If you remember, it was just like a snippet cut of this section without the other 3 characters here. So this picture has been expanded from what was there previously. I love the green-tipped arrow as well on the Bard weapon. Absolutely gorgeous. If you're a massive fan of relic weapons like I am, and you want to collect all of them, that's what they look like. And honestly, I think they're a massive upgrade from what we've got, at least visually, for my tastes, but yours might differ. Again, this is not the final stage, but they're starting to look really good. It'll be interesting to see what we have to do and how involved the Occult Crescent has been, or is going to be. I don't know, honestly. It does seem like you can do a lot of the weapon stuff outside of Occult Crescent. I would like to see a little bit more involvement, but again, we'll have to wait until Tuesday to see. But very excited to collect some of these, if not all of these weapons. In addition to that, then, if we scroll further down, we get to the Oizys, I still don't know how to pronounce that, Oizys, I'm going to go for Oizys, and Tool Enhancement Quest for Cosmic Tools. So we've seen some of these pictures before. There are some new ones. It says, with knowledge and resources gained from Faena, and the Cosmic Exploration Initiative finds itself drawn to the ruined star of Oizys. Come aboard once more and undertake missions of the utmost gravity. So, in addition to pictures we have already seen before, such as this one, being in orbit of the twin-ringed star, or planet, and obviously the Leporits being involved, we've got that upside-down pyramid, which is very similar to architecture at least in some way, that we've seen in the fringes. I remember my first time looking at this, I thought this was a sand crawler from Star Wars, just because of the sort of shape there. There's a specific name for that shape, but it kind of looks like that. But that looks like a ruined temple, and the ruined temple is part of the base, which is really interesting, actually. I don't know if that's where the aetheryte is going to be inside there, but it looks like there's a lot more about an ancient civilization that is no longer there. We've got the hangars here, we've got all sorts of habitats, and there's the space station. So presumably there are lots of different advancements for this world to look forward to if you're into that. And of course, this is one of the Hyperloops, the Cosmo boards sections, Cosmo Liner, next to some other different flora and fauna. There's some weird creatures flopping around, or maybe that is just a plant. And yeah, there's a lot of things. They did mention that there was a calamity to do with gravity on this star. So that is kind of obvious with the way things are sort of floating. I don't know how animated this is going to be, but it's going to be interesting. Unfortunately, it doesn't seem like there are any inhabitants that are still alive. And they're dealing with a brand new system where it's like artifact exploration, where you're able to do something to get information on the past, and you get rewards for it in the form of minions and mounts. You will note, though, there is a new suit, actual battle suit, as I call them. There's a blue one or a teal one, sort of turquoise color. So I don't know if this is going to be part of, yet again, another achievement reward. Remember, we have achievement rewards for, obviously the black version of this and other things. But maybe it will be put into the Cosmo Fortune minigame, or maybe this will be something achievement related. Maybe it won't even be a reward, but it's really cool to see another color variant, or at least I quite like color variants of mounts, and it's a cool mount. You'll also notice there's all sorts of things going on here to do with gravity. I don't know. That thing looks like an Ozma, sort of hidden, the way it's swirling around. Yeah, obviously a cleanup crew in one of the Fate encounters. Doesn't look like anything gameplay-wise has changed there. We've got a nice upshot of, obviously, a botanist clipping some weeds. Really nice shot, actually. Very nice G-pose. Not much to glean from that. I don't think there's anything too new there. The weapons don't look... I mean, I don't know, actually. They're kind of starting to look the same when they're unsheathed. When they're sheathed, rather. Got people fishing in the background here. It looks like a nice area. I just want cosmic exploration to be more involved somehow socially. But so is this one of the drill bits then? Is this what we're talking about? Because this was something that was mentioned as a feature but not really explained. So I'm looking forward to an explanation on this. But maybe this is a drill bit. Like there's a rock here. Maybe we're using a drill bit to mine this. I don't know. But this seems to be... If this could even be the artifact feature, I don't know. The only thing that's kind of grabbing my attention here is the polygonal cactus. I think that's fantastic. It's almost like it was originally a cactus and it started to like crystallize, which is really, really interesting. There's like flowers above regular cactus and then it's sort of crystallized. Like some of the flora and fauna seems to have changed in its matter. Very exciting. I do like some of the set pieces. Hopefully some of this stuff becomes garden housing items. I would love something like that, and like the spirally rock and stuff, and useful for water features and interesting designs. In addition, we also have this, which is our first proper high resolution look, a bigger image of what those tools will look like. So this is the next stage. And of course, we've got the frying pan for Culinarian, and we've got a mining tool on the right there. Really interesting. We've got this kind of like mesh effect with also a sort of glow effect on there as well. The tools are starting to look slightly more exciting. Obviously having the white base. I have a suspicion that when these are put away, they'll just be pure white again. But this is a good step. Maybe they will retain some of that coloration when they are sheathed. It's almost as if they're mapping out in a grid form. Like, I don't know, anything to do with this. It's interesting as well, like the floating purple crystals. I didn't see those on a lower resolution image. It'd be cool if those rotate. But yeah, the tools, there's a new tool step. obviously on the new star, as well as new rewards from Cosmo Fortune minigame, like the spin the wheel minigame. New rewards from the vendor. We don't know anything about those rewards really. We've seen some snippets, but really excited to collect all of the cosmic tools again. I got the last stage, and quite frankly, I wasn't that excited with them, but they are starting to look different now, and that's exciting. Look at the size of that pickaxe. Really, really cool. Kind of like a power drill at the bottom with like a rechargeable battery, and then it goes crazy from the top. So some of these tools are going to look cooler than others, probably. And then we have a first look, our second look at some of the rewards. Two of these rewards we have seen before, which were confirmed to be related to both Cosmo Fortune, the spinny wheel, so presumably something to do like the spacesuit, which actually on further inspection is actually like an exoskeleton. So we've got like the exoskeleton legs to help you move around quicker, perhaps to help train your legs, when cardio is not a thing on lower gravity areas, at least in an RP sense. Same for like actuators basically on arms. Nice big helmet, exposed flesh, which I'm not sure that's going to do too well. I don't really understand what the helmet's for, really, if we've got exposed flesh here. The helmet is a welcome addition, though. I've wanted a traditional-looking space helmet. There's a big globe for quite a while, actually, since the moon stuff started, so quite cool. I'm not sure why they're taking a picture here on Mare Elementorum. That's kind of obvious where this is, but it's fine. And, of course, this sort of tome lift creature, much better detail than we expected. We've got lots of gold and red involved on this, which is interesting. And they mentioned that some of these rewards are going to be part of the artifact system to do with researching the previous inhabitants of the star. So however that feature works, this could be potentially one of the rewards, in theory, unless I've misunderstood the live letters before, that this is also probably from like a vendor or an achievement or something. But cool stuff regardless. Lots of things to collect, and this is merely like a snippet of what's to come. And then the newest addition is this armor set, which quite frankly looks amazing. We've got this kind of like metal mohawk on this helmet with a red glowing visor. We've got this kind of imperialist kind of robe with with white feathers at the top. Yeah, this is definitely a vibe. Yeah, I mean, on smaller characters, this will probably have different proportions. I'm excited to see what this looks like on female characters. It's so cool. I actually really like it. It reminds me of going to Az's Lair for the first time. Lots of red glows, green glows. Like, look at the luminosity on this like tabard section on the front of a chest and on the boots. I'm a huge glamour nut, and I can already see several things with the chest alone that I would like to keep. It all depends on dyeability, though, like the underside of this robe, right, of the actual cloak. You also see there's like a diamond shape on the back of a cloak as well, so presumably the same ornate design is on the back. We can only see a tip of it there. Depends on how this is dyeable. If we can change the sort of teal interior as well, that'll be interesting, but with all of these extra details, you have to wonder how much of this brass is going to change color. It is something that is hard to match to in terms of glamour, coordination with the double dye system. And the double dye system has let us down quite a bit when there's been more than two colors present. And we've got red, we've got gold, we've got black, we've got green. Yeah, and that's kind of like an almost gunmetal black or a suede sort of black. Interesting set, though. Very excited to see where that's from and add it to our collection. But that is pretty much it for the updates, as far as we can tell. Very excited for the tool upgrade. I want to see what they've done differently. I can't wait to see if there's any more, advancement for the cosmic areas. I think cosmic exploration suffers from more of the same, and that sometimes can be good. I think that innovation is definitely the way to go, and I'm excited to see what they do with a little bit of hopium, perhaps, that the artifact system adds a few hurdles in the way, or a way of sort of spicing things up. I do think that the progress on lower population servers, such as my own, is a little bit weak. It doesn't have the same vibe, perhaps, as some of the higher pop servers. I don't know. Let me know what you think about Cosmic. Have you enjoyed it, or have you just found it a little bit samey? As far as I can tell, that's pretty much it. There isn't anything else to really talk about here as far as I know, just to double check. But yeah, they haven't posted anything new on emote sections or anything like that. That isn't to say there isn't any new emotes and things like that, and new minions, which of course there will be. But that is what they've had. If you want any of the pictures, you can go to the media section of the linked in the description website and get any of the pictures you want. If you want to inspect them further, or if you want to have some background images, there are quite a lot of really stunning images, especially from 7.4 with the Arcadian bosses. Really loving the Arcadian. I'm not doing Savage this time, unfortunately. Still looking for a group. So yeah, if you play on EU, hit me up. But yeah, excited to see these weapons. I don't dislike the relic weapons. They are a step up, so I'm excited to get all of those eventually and hopefully make a video on those. But yeah, much love. Enjoy the rest of your day. Tuesday, just around the corner. Literally, we've waited long for this, and we finally get to do the relic weapons and also additionally that of the cosmic exploration. As far as we know, there is nothing else in the patch. Of course, everything not mentioned here will be in 7.45, which is at an undetermined date at this time. I don't know, that could be February, March, who knows at this point, but we'll have to wait and see. More content in the future. Anyway, much love. I'll see you all next time. Bye bye.